Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you the pattern I look for when I trade boom and crash. I trade buys on boom and sells on crash. So with no further ado, make sure you stick to the end of the video because you're going to see exactly what I look for before taking a trade. So let's jump to the chart. Alright, so here you can see we are on TradingView. I'm going to show you what we look for and then I'm going to jump on the charts and show you exactly what I look for and how to look for it before I take any trade. So if we have a downwards market, right, and we have a shift right over here, what I look for is, let's say, for example, this was a huge leg, okay? And we are inside of our fib zone. So our fib zones are 50, 61.8 and 78.6, all right? So then I'm going to mark out these zones on the higher time frame. So now price came into our zones. Now we want to wait for some sort of liquidity sweeps that's happening on the left side right over here. So here we can see this low has been taken, and let's just say there was a bunch of lows on this leg going up. We took liquidity. The next thing we wait for is a market structure shift. As soon as this market structure shift happens, okay, I'm going to draw my fib again, okay, and then I'm going to wait for price to enter our zone again. But this time I'm going to jump to the lower time frame to find my entry, and I'm going to look for the exact same pattern. Really simple. So that's what I look for. We wait for a liquidity sweep. We wait for a market structure shift. We draw our fib from the low to the high. We wait for a retracement and then we go to the lower time frames and we do it all over again. So let's quickly look at the chart right over here. So if we zoom out on this, right, we can clearly see on the higher time frame, this leg down was in a retracement, okay? Because now price is going to be at our 50 and our 78 zone right over here. So on the higher time frame, this was a retrace, and now we are currently in here. So again, let's see what happened. A low was taken right over there. A low was taken right over there. We had a small low being taken right over there. So as you can see right over there. So to make this cleaner, I'm going to draw out the last low that has been taken, okay? So this is liquidity sweep. Remember, on the higher time frame, we are inside of that zone, right? On that 50% zone. So now, where's the high of this leg that created this low, right? It was this one right over here. We can clearly see high, low. So now before I'm starting to look at any trades, I want this high to be taken out. I'm going to mark out the low as well. So if the low gets taken out, we are not ready to move on. Currently on the 1 hour, let's see what price does. As you can see, we broke this high, right? So do you agree with me? We have a 1 hour market structure shift, okay? So now, where's the low that took out this high? It was this low right over here. So now you draw your fib from the low to the high, and we play price forward, and we wait for a retracement into our 50-61 point zone. We adjust the high because we made a new high. Now we go down. So let's just mark this out actually. This zone right over here. Let's wait if price taps it in. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. There we go. Okay, price tapped in right there. So let's jump to the 15 minute. Let's see if we see something there. Just going to delete the fib. This is that 1 hour. Okay, let's go down to the 5 minute. Let's just zoom out a little bit. So during this leg, again, now we are on the 5 minute. Now we can see liquidity has been taken. Liquidity has been taken right over there. Cool. We had a market structure shift on the 5 minute market structure shift. And now where was the low that took out this high? It was this one right over here. Do you agree with me? And now again, we mark out our zones. There's our zone. And let's see if we get tagged in. It's coming down. And we get tagged in. So this is where I would take my entry. So now if you want to have a more conservative entry, you can put your stop loss below this low, or you can put it below the swing low right over here. And we at least target a 1 or 2 minimum. And you can see this basically lines up with these relative equal highs right over here. So we are tagged into the trade, and let's see how this trade plays out. As you can see, we had a nice immediate reaction and we smashed through our targets. As you can see, let's go back to the 1 hour. There's another high right over there. Let's see if we get that one tagged. Yes, we do. Let's mark out this high right over here. Let's see if we get tagged. Yes. Let's mark out this high right over there. And this is levels where I would take partial profits. We got smashed right over there. And the last high, as you can see, we took the profit there. So there you have a nice 14 or 15 risk to reward trade, 15% risk to reward trade. So now do you see whatever happens on the higher time frame happens on the lower time frame? So those are the rules I follow. Watch the video again if you need to, put it on repeat, go practice it on TradingView. The risk space is on TradingView. Use the replay button and test your strategy if this works. So I hope this video was valuable and that you learned something, and then I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.